abuses. I celebrate VPN, hashtag I celebrate VPN, because I don't know how much misery we would have had as a fraternity if we did not have this VPN. Think about the day of election and the shutdown and how we gathered information through SMS. Solomon, we sat together on a TV show and we had been thinking through the election and we were back to 1900. The feeling you had that I was defending the times of 1900. And when I got off that show, people said, do you defend democracy? Are you in the right position or you're not in the right position? And I said, I am, but I just wanted us for a moment to stop and think what the internet has done for us, what having our phones on us has done for us, that when everything got shut, we suddenly had a bit of us missing. We felt like we were disintegrating. So the real issue then becomes, the government has also played a good role. I didn't see it come out, but they played a good role in terms of we have more media. Some of us have online media. Every day we break news on Facebook, we break news on Twitter, we break news on WhatsApp. And we don't need the mainstream media only. So now in the past, we only relied on New Vision, Daily Monitor. What are they going to say? Yes, we go back there. And I now dwell into the real cases here. So I have celebrated 1, VPN, 2, government and the auspice of we have more media houses. And maybe that's why these cases that we see are also increasing. So what don't I celebrate? Journalism is not a crime. I don't celebrate that. You think of a doctor who wakes up in the morning to go and treat patients, and guess what? The police comes in, hits them, kicks them, throws them outside and tells them you can't treat this patient. This is exactly what they do to media practitioners on a daily basis when they go searching for a story. I was seated in a lawyer's colloquium and they were saying, but why do you go when there are bullets? And I said, so if we don't go when there are bullets, who will tell you the story of what is happening where the bullets are? And so if you're closed out of the information, how will you know? And the lawyer sat down and said, oh, so that's what it means to a journalist. Yes, that is what it means to a journalist. For those who do not know what journalism is about, and I hate the story of people who say they are just journalists. They went to school, they also studied, it's a profession, they are not just. They are journalists. They give you information. Without them, the public good and justice cannot be found in your society. So the role that journalists play cannot be underestimated, and I think the report does bring that out very well. So what happens when the media is surveilled? We saw surveillance of the media highlighted in this report. We saw violations by state and non-state actors. I think one of the things that came to my attention closely was RDCs. So during an election, what is the role of RDCs? 13 violations by RDCs, switching off a radio station, telling a journalist, you can't take that story. How dare you? My job is to get the story, and now you're telling me I can't pick the story. So what do? I go and sleep? Are you saying it's no longer useful? My profession is now not useful. So they stopped them from covering in Busoga Radio 1 and Spice FM. I think those are very well detailed stories, the abuses and violations. Thank you very much, HRNJ, because we have a place to start. That when we see these cases and the issues, we will follow up. Who was beaten? How are they recovering? Ali Mivule is still in pain. My friends who were beaten at the UN Office of the Human Rights, I have said, I was about to call him Seranja, Henry Sekanjako. He still has bruises all over his body. Henry can't put himself together to think, I just went for a story, but I'm in bed. Timothy Mwijuche, a very little boy who was trying out his camera, beaten. And up to now, he's struggling with wounds all over his body. I like the fact that HRNJ has taken time to document each and every journalist across the country. They've told us, Luca, this is what happened. They've told us about my brother who is seated here with me, Lutaya. Lutaya knows how I broke down twice during this election because of the way journalists were being treated. Why? Why would they have to be treated that way? So I am so glad that HRNJ could even document 71 assaults. We have a place to start. So it is no longer just a footnote. It's not just a statistic. It is human beings. It is people with flesh and blood that have been assaulted. Thank you, HRNJ. And then we talk about the events as they happened. The 24 cases of reporters who were tear gassed by canisters, Bugoma Forest Reserve. We should interest ourselves with some of the things that the report is telling us. Why Bugoma? Why election time? Why are these the times when journalists are most assaulted? What is the story behind the story that we haven't heard yet? And who can go back to search for that story? Since the first ones were threatened off the story, we have those questions still lying there. Yeah. And then the interesting last thing, Solomon, and I don't know, you gave me 2 minutes. 69 cases in the central region. This tells you the center sets the agenda. That information flow is high in the center. And I think that's an accurate statistic, and they give us 28 cases in Western, and Northern almost has no case. Maybe as we move forward, we should think, how do we bring North into the picture? Thank you.
Thanks, Charity.